So what is dyslexia? If you want to go ahead and turn in your handouts to page 4, I have this box here for you, and we're going to break down this word dyslexia by morphemes, morphemic units, which are units of meaning, right? Phonemes are units of sound, individual sounds. Morphemes are units of individual parts of the word that have meaning. So if I look at the word part dys, that means not or difficult, and lexia means words. So difficulty with words. Difficulty with words. A few things for you to know. Dyslexia is word reading disability. It is the most common cause of reading, writing, and spelling difficulties. When you look at the American Psychological Association, they categorize dyslexia as being usually accounting for 80% of learning disabilities that have to do with reading. So it's the most common. Remember when we talked about the simple view of reading in those 4 quadrants, right? The issue was on that D side of reading. The primary characteristic is difficulty reading and spelling. It shows up in reading and spelling. Single words, especially when those words are presented in lists, everybody, and not in context. Why? Because they cannot over-rely on context to identify the words. They have to just use their decoding abilities. It is a language-based disorder. It is not caused by vision problems or seeing backwards. So this is something that's misinformation out there. Can it show up with some letter reversals? It can, but that's because of their phonological deficits. It's not because they're seeing. It's not a vision issue at all. It's very much a language-based disorder. And the primary deficit in terms of language is phonological. In other words, poor phonemic awareness, which then just spirals into all of these other areas. Talk about Matthew effects. Okay? So the primary deficit is phonological. And it needs to be noted that this occurs in people of all backgrounds and intellectual levels. So you can have a very bright student in all areas, and yet they really struggle learning to read and write.